This video is to show you how to find percentage of a number. If you haven't already watched the previous video about changing a percentage into a decimal, then I recommend that you watch that video first. There are several different methods for finding percentage of a number, but the method I'm going to demonstrate today in this video, I believe, covers you for all eventualities. It allows you to find percentage of a number when the percentage is not so pleasant. It doesn't require an understanding of fractions, which sometimes freak people out. It certainly doesn't require you to have a calculator with a percentage button on it. It does, however, require you to have a calculator, so get your calculator out ready to go. Let's look at this example. 72% of 180. If you watch the previous video, you will know that 72% can be changed easily into a decimal, and that's what you're going to do straight away. You're going to change 72% into a decimal. Then, at the same time, you're going to change the word of into a multiplication sign. Of, whenever you see of, it means times. The 180 you're not going to do anything with. So, after you've written down your question, the very next thing that you're going to write is this. You're going to go zip zip on the 72. To change it into 0.72, you're going to change the of into a times, and that you're going to leave the 180 the way it is. Now you get out your trusty calculator. Let's see if I've got my calculator here. And you enter it in exactly as is. 0.72 times 180. Now at this point I like to have a little think about what I think the answer should be around about. Well, 72% it's close to 3/4. Half of 180 is 90, so it's going to be bigger than 90. 3/4 of 180 is 135, so I'm expecting my answer to be a little bit, but between 90 and 135. So let's press the equals and see how good I am at predicting. 129.6, very happy. And that is our answer. Let's have a look at one more. 6% of 230. I chose 6% because I'm trying to catch out you people out there who are mistakenly thinking that 6% as a decimal is you just stick a decimal point in front of the number, miss. No, 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 you do not. 6% as a decimal is 0.06. Zip, 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 zip. Decimal point goes here, 0 in the placemaker marker. The of becomes the times, the 230 just goes along for the ride. So let's get our trusty calculator out. Clear our last question. 0.06 times 230. Now, let's do a little prediction before we start. 6%, now that's quite small. It's less than 10%. 10% of something is 1/10, or divide by 10, so 10% of this number is going to be 23. So I'm really thinking that my answer is going to be less than 23. In fact, it's going to be almost half of 23. So half of 23 is a bit less than 12, so I'm thinking 13 maybe? Let's have a look. Oh, I am so good. 13.8 is our answer. So in summary, the percentage goes into a decimal by using zip zip. The of becomes the times. The number goes along for the ride. Use your calculator and you're all sorted. Now it's your turn. Here are 3 examples of finding the percentage of a number. Have a go at using the strategy that I've demonstrated. Pause the video. Make sure you write them down. Write down the question, write down that second line that I've demonstrated, use your calculator and write down the answer. And then unpause the video and see how you went. So, how did you go? Let's go through them. 45% of 146. you should have gone zip zip to make the 45% into 0.45. The of becomes the times. 176 goes along for the ride. We put it in our calculator, but before we press equals, we have a little guess. So 0.45 or 45% is just less than a half of 176. Well, a half of 180 is 90, so I'm thinking less than 90, quite a bit less than 90. Let's have a look to see what the answer is. 79.2. That's less than 90. I'm pretty happy. Let's clear all that off. Let's look at the next one, 8%. Remember, not plonking the decimal point in front of the number. We're going to go zip zip, 0.08. The of becomes the times, 62. Let's do a little prediction first. Well, 8% is less than 10%. 10% is 6.2, so we're looking for an answer that's less than 6.2. So I'm going to have a guess. I'm going to say 5 point something. Oh, not quite. 4.96. Not bad though. And now this one here. I particularly like putting these ones in because I like checking to see whether or not you're going to be thrown by the fact it's already a decimal. It's a decimal, yes, but it's a decimal percent. And as soon as you see that percent, as soon as you see those two little circles, you should remember zip zip. So zip zip gives you 2 zeros after the decimal point and before the 4, 0.004. The of becomes the times, 1034. So let's have a little guess. Well, this is less than 1%. It's less than 1/100th of our answer. 1/100th of this is 10, and this is like half of a percent. So half of 10, and less than that. So half of 10 is 5, less than 5, I'm going to go 4 point something. Let's have a look. Ooh, 4.136. Legendary. How did you go? Okay, keep practicing. It's a really important skill. Bye.